Welcome along to the action, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jack. I'm your commentator, and we are back once more with MOR Esports. This is the 2 p.m. social race coming at you live from Zandvoort. We've got one-shot qualifying, followed by a 35% race, and we are hoping that this will be a brilliant Grand Prix. Zandvoort always does normally provide some very good racing. And we have got 22 drivers taking to the track to see who can get the fastest time in qualifying. We have got many quick drivers. One of those being the league owner himself, F1 Mikey Boy. So let's see if we can get on board as all the times chop and change. This is F1 Mikey Boy then, battling away hard with Edward and with Tom in the first sector. Looks like Edward is going to have the quickest first sector of them all. As now through the middle part of the lap we go. Edward taking an early lead. F1 Nathan has retired from qualifying and left the session, as has Error. As we go in towards the final sector of this Zandvoort track, of course, the next race on the real Formula 1 calendar is Zandvoort, and it will be the last ever Dutch Grand Prix, or at least for the foreseeable future. I'm sure at some point in history there will be another Dutch Grand Prix. And can F1 Mikey Boy try and delight the Orange Army? Looks like it is going to be Edward, and Edward, the only man into the 1:09s. That is a rapid lap time from Edward, who takes pole position here in qualifying. We've got a bit of a mixed up grid. We've got a lot of quick drivers. This should be a brilliant race. It is Edward on pole from Balmy Tick in second. Lawless Fever is third, with Ollie Football fourth and Sander in fifth. F1 Mikey Boy lines up sixth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dutch Grand Prix from MOR Esports is up next. Welcome back to the action here in Zandvoort, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, oh, there is our telemetry. There we go. Let's get everything else enabled for us. Strategy-wise, it's looking very split between the softs and the medium compound tyres to start on. Sander saying he needs an invite, so let's get him in as quickly as possible. Cam Ruddy already disqualified from the formation lap. I do want to say as well, if you are viewing the stream on Twitch, currently I'm not able to read the chat. We are working on a fix. Streamlabs obviously having some issues with the Twitch chat being read, so do bear with us as we try to fix that for future streams. I do apologize if anyone thinks I'm ignoring them or not reading what they say. Just not currently able to read the chat. As F1 Nathan has now left the session. Not sure if I've got him added. It does not look like it. So we'll need to see if someone else can get the Red Bull driver in. As we make our way through the middle sector, or through the final sector, should I say. QDR Edward will be the man lining up on pole position. Alcada, what do you mean? We'll try and work on a fix. We just need to figure out why that would be. We all line up on the grid then. We just await Error and F1 Nathan at the back of the field. Error having a bit of moment and into the wall. A few drivers getting disqualified for illegal parking positions. As Error makes his way through the banking. And we are all set up for this 35% race around Zandvoort. Edward on pole, pointing towards the McLaren. And all that's left to do is wait for the lights. The engines roar to life then. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And we can go racing for the Dutch Grand Prix. QDR Edward does get away well, but look at Tick on the inside line. McLaren versus Audi into turn 1. Look at the Cadillac in behind of Lawless Fever trying to get involved as well. F1 Mikey Boy down to 10th place at the moment. Make that 11th. Has not had a good start as QDR Edward gets the getaway then. Tick in 2nd place with Lawless Fever running in 3rd. We've got a car in the wall at the banking. That is Clyde, who has avoided any damage. But we'll continue on in 22nd place. We've got F1 Mikey Boy down in 10th. What happened to the Red Bull driver at the start? Is Cam Ruddy ahead of him, really lagging away at the start of this race. We've got QDR Edward, that is your leader then. Tick in 2nd, trying to fight away with the Audi car. But it was Edward that got the getaway. Got the speed initially off the line as round there goes Sean and into the barriers. It looks like he may have made contact with F1 Mikey Boy as well. Mikey now down to 16th place. Make that 18th, possibly 19th, and yes, make that 20th as F1 Nathan goes through as well. The league owner not having a good start to this Grand Prix. We've got 25 laps of this Dutch Grand Prix. We're on lap 2 at the moment, and it's QDR Edward that is your leader. We've got yellow flags flying once more. That is for Error, who has gone very, very deep at turn 1. That is definitely not the optimal racing line at turn 1 of Zandvoort. And Error now in 22nd place as QDR Edward, Tick and Lawless Fever in such close contention for 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Lawless Fever obviously on the medium compound tyres, so he's doing a very good job of sticking with the 2 cars ahead of him that are currently on the soft compound tyres. As towards the middle sector we go, we've got Tom and Ollie Football in the background fighting away. Ollie looking around the outside line and has chucked it in way too deep. Through the gravel he goes. We'll get a 3-second time penalty and is going to lose a whole host of positions. Ollie was running in 3rd momentarily. Now down to 7th place. Not Brownie running in 6th. QDR Edward continues on in the lead. But look at Tick gaining on him towards turn 1. Looking towards the outside line. Edward placing that car exactly where it needs to be. The McLaren looking for the up and under, but not able to get the grip that he would have needed to make that move stick. As into the banking we go. Audi versus McLaren versus Cadillac. QDR Edward still your leader. This is a brilliant fight out front at the moment. Kian in the chat as well. Welcome in, Kian. Sander looking for another invite. We'll get him in a second because this battling at the front does not look like it's going to stop anytime soon. We've now got the 2 Alpines fighting away. Look at Tom trying to get by Lawless Fever as well. Round the outside he goes. Not going to get the grip there as we will quickly try and get Sander back into the lobby. Kian says he's watching from work. Good man, Kian. Hopefully this is making your shift a little bit easier. Sander, please don't spam in the TikTok chat. I did see your message. I have sent you an invite. It doesn't seem you're connecting though. You join and then leave immediately. As here comes Tick on the back of Edward, is looking towards turn 1. What line is he going to go to? It's the outside line. He's going to go onto the grass and go very deep into turn 1. Lawless Fever was looking for the switchback. Got a little bit out of shape. And that is the first moment that the sparks have started to fly in this Grand Prix. Not Brownie gets through on Ollie Football and up into 6th place. And the McLaren now looking to try and overtake the Alpine. Just not enough track, really, to try and make a way past. As still, we've got the top 3 all within about 2/10 of each other. As someone has had a moment, that's Lewis James. F1 Mikey Boy has retired from the session as well. It looks like that was an on-track retirement for F1 Mikey Boy. As through the middle sector we go. It's Edward from Tick from Lawless. 3 drivers all in massive contention of winning this race. We'll try and get Cam Ruddy back in as well. He currently runs in 15th place. As towards turn 1 we go again. Edward just has that little bit of a gap out in front. Seems like he's doing a very good job of leading this race and soaking up the pressure from the cars behind. We've got Tom running in P4. So we've got the top 4 and then a gap of 2.6 seconds behind to Not Brownie and Ollie. Not Brownie has overtaken the Alpine driver and will try and get a bit closer and close that gap to Tom. The top 4 fighting away so hard. I wouldn't imagine it will be too difficult to get back within the overtake boost. It's QDR Edward that is your leader. Tick in 2nd with Lawless Fever running in 3rd. Tom is in 4th place. And this top 4 fight, I don't think I've seen a fight this closely contested for a long, long time. Four cars all trying to share the same piece of tarmac. It's never going to work, and I wouldn't be surprised if this gets a little bit spicy. Tick with the same battery as Edward. Just doesn't look like this straight is long enough for Tick to try and make a move. He's now going to try down the inside. Edward goes in a little bit deep. Is this the McLaren's chance? No, it's not. Edward with the better exit manages to stay ahead again. This is a brilliant fight out in front between Edward, Tick, and you can also include Lawless Fever and Tom in that fight. Tick would just be praying that there is maybe 100 meters more straight line and he would be able to get his way through. M4E saying, JP, have you ever tried racing like these people? What do you mean exactly? Just racing in league races? Is that what you're asking? Or racing against people like Edward that are very, very quick? UDR Edward still leading this race. Lawless Fever looking to come back into it on the medium compound tyres. I do wonder how the softs will be faring. Tyre wear not normally great around Zandvoort. I have, but on much older games like F1 2021, I was relatively quick, I would have said, and I did race some very, very quick people. But definitely not on this game, as Tick finally gets the move done on Edward. That move has been coming really since turn 1. And Tick now moves through into the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. Edward, his defense finally crumbles. And the Audi driver now has to try and attack, but cannot forget about Lawless Fever right in behind him. We're only on lap 7 of 25 of this Grand Prix. And Lawless Fever now looking towards the inside line. Is he going to get the exit that he needs? You can't really go around the outside here. And Edward holds on to second place for at least the time being. The top 4 still in very close contention. But it's now the McLaren of Tick that is your leader. Edward in 2nd with Fever in 3rd. Tom is 4th. It's then 3.3 seconds back to Not Brownie. So looks like everyone else is falling off of the top 4. Brownie has now got Robin right behind him. Ollie dropping like a fly at the moment in this race. Was running in, I believe, 4th and challenging for 3rd. Now down to 9th place. As I do want to give a big shout out as well to this man, Daryl. Finally back on track with us in MOR. I think it's his first race in MOR. And Daryl, it's great to see you back on track, my friend. Really hoping you can have a good Grand Prix. Boko now comes into the pit lane and retires from the session as well. Ollie Football all over the back of FG Pro. Not able to make the move in the middle sector. So we'll have to wait for the final part of the lap as, never mind, FG Pro is slowing down and is off the road. What is going on with the V-Carb driver? Didn't really look like he had any sort of incident there. It's just slowed down. Will now get going again. Hasn't got any damage. And the gaps now start to open up then. Out in front, it's now really the top three as Tom is falling off of this fight and is coming into the pit lane. Edward gets back past Tick. Tick looking for the switchback. Edward takes the lead once more here in Zandvoort as Tom in the pit lane gets a fresh set of the hard compound tyres onto that car. He emerges in 13th, has got a good gap ahead of him to try and punch some air into. As QDR Edward is still your leader then. This top three fight absolutely enthralling at the moment. McLaren versus Audi. You've also got the Cadillac of Lawless in there as well, who is on the medium compound tyres. And if we're already seeing people come into the pit lane off of the softs, you would assume that the mediums are quicker. But Edward and Tick doing a great job of holding on to their softs, at least for the time being. Will we see either of them into the pit lane on this lap? It doesn't look like it. And as we make our way down the main straight, they do indeed stay out in this Dutch Grand Prix. We're on lap 10 of 25 here, and the Orange Army roaring everyone on. Not Brownie now into the pit lane for a set of the hard compound tyres. You would always assume that the 35% race is going to be a one-stop strategy, as we've got a lot of people in the pit lane on this lap. Looks like we've got Edward and Tick that want to come into the pit lane, as Lawless is putting the McLaren under a lot of pressure and looking towards the inside line. Not your conventional overtaking zone at Zandvoort. The Cadillac down the inside, and this is going to be costing Tick time to Edward, especially with the pit stop phase just coming up. As Fever does get that move done then, and he is up into second place. Tick now down to third. They've got 5.6 seconds to the car behind them, that being Robin, who is ahead of Ollie Football. Obviously, having that 3-second penalty is going to compound Ollie's race a little bit. As round the banking we go. Who are we seeing into the pit lane? Tick is coming in. Edward stays out. So Tick looking for the undercut then on Edward. We know the undercut can be powerful. Edward thinking the overcut's going to work, as Ollie now gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Ollie's race really is over after that penalty. Edward is the man running in the lead at the moment. Daryl, his usual strategy going long in races, running in fourth at the moment. Robin in third with Lawless in second. We've got QDR Edward as your leader. Closest battle on track at the moment is between F1 Nathan and Error, but F1 Nathan obviously has disconnected from this race, so not really a battle, you wouldn't have said, as QDR Edward doesn't look like he's shaping up for a pit stop on this lap. Edward looking to go long on the soft compound tyres. Maybe becoming somewhat of a tyre whisperer in MOR. No, he is coming into the pit lane then. Lawless Fever stays out and takes the lead. We've got Robin in third, Daryl in fourth. What I'm interested in is Tick, to see where he's going to come out in comparison to QDR. Edward was looking for the undercut. Edward just coming towards the end of the pit lane. As Edward takes that inside line, Tick has perfected the undercut then. So it's Tick now running in third place. He's the highest driver up that has boxed so far. They've also got Tom, who's currently in fourth, sorry, on 3-lap old hard compound tyres. Edward will have to gain up to the back of the Alpine and then pass him. And that is not going to be an easy job because those tyres are still fresh on Tom's Alpine. And it is always a little bit hard to overtake around Zandvoort. As we continue on, Tom is trying to make the move again on Tick. So Tick not able to run away with this on the fresh mediums. So a hard compound tyre, definitely a very good race tyre. Cam Ruddy currently running in 12th place. He's ahead of CK9. Cam Ruddy has been into the pit lane once, I believe, as Lawless Fever and Robin continue on in this Grand Prix. Daryl stays out. Daryl has come into the pit lane. Currently runs in 9th on the hard compound tyres. As Ollie Football now sets the fastest lap of this race. Daryl making his way down the main straight. He's got Sean about a second and a half behind him. Going long. Definitely seemed like it worked for Daryl. As we will quickly look at the position change. You can see Daryl is up 6 places. Robin up 18 at the moment, but obviously has not pitted in this race yet. So the real big gainers are F1 Nathan and Daryl, that are both up 6 places in this Grand Prix. And Daryl's strategy will only be helping him more, as he may be able to undercut the likes of Lawless Fever and Robin, who are scheduled for a pit stop on this lap then. Lawless does not come in, interestingly enough, ignoring the pit crew. What about Robin? He is going to dive into the pit lane. And we'll see how many positions he truly has gained. As Not Brownie has had a moment, and Ollie Football has gone through into 6th place. Robin gets that car serviced. Soft compound tyres to the end of the race for Robin. That is a bold strategy, it must be said. And Robin is going to come out then in 7th place. He's got Ollie's Alpine right behind him, but soft compound tyres, you would expect Robin to gain away pretty quickly. As soon as those tyres are up to temperature, so Ollie will want to try and make the move as soon as possible so he can get himself ahead of the V-Carb. He's going to look to try and make the move. Down the inside he goes. Robin fighting it on the outside line. Great battling between the V-Carb and the Alpine. Robin manages to stay in 7th place. And if these two keep battling, Daryl will most certainly get himself involved in this fight. Sean trying to get up to the rear of the Ferrari as Lawless Fever comes into the pit lane then. And Lawless Fever, he's going on to the soft compound tyres as well. Tick sets the fastest lap of the race and now retakes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. We've got 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Tom running in 2nd with Edward in 3rd. Edward trying to gain on Tom. It's hard compound tyres versus medium compound tyres, and Tom needs to try and get away from Edward a bit because Edward's best chance is while these tyres are that little bit fresher, and he is getting into the overtake boost on this lap. So QDR Edward looking to try and take 2nd place back again and then continue the chase on Tick. Overtake boost confirmed for Edward. As we go down the main straight, Edward also with much more battery than the Alpine driver is gaining very, very quickly. Is it close enough to make a move into turn 1? He's going for a dive bomb. An incredibly late move from Edward as Tom is forced off the road and the move will come off for Edward. I wonder if the stewards will have anything to say about that. The intent and the early part of the move, absolutely brilliant from Edward. Just on the exit, ran the Alpine out of road. And Tom now down to third place. Edward 2.3 seconds behind Tick. And we'll look to try and close that gap down. Lawless Fever running in fourth on the soft compound tyres. It's then Ollie in fifth with Not Brownie in sixth. Robin on the soft compound tyres with a lot of damage to that front wing in seventh place. I wonder what's happened there to the V-carb driver. And you can see Ollie is gaining time on him, as Sean is now right on the back of Daryl. Is Sean able to make his way through? He is gaining on the rear end of the Ferrari. Daryl, we know though, very aggressive driving and will defend with everything that he has got. Currently running in ninth is the Ferrari. Has saved his battery as well for the main straight. It will be Sean with the overtake boosters. Through the banking we go. They are very close together. Tiny little bit of contact as they bump wheels down the main straight. Daryl on the outside line, Sean on the inside line. Sean gets his way through into 8th place. Daryl going to use the battery and try and get himself back through, but isn't able to make that move work, and will now have to sit behind the Haas car and wait for a better overtaking zone. Sean up to 8th then. Daryl down to 9th. Slice and FG are fighting away. Audi versus V-carb. It looks like it's going to be the V-carb that wins out this fight as the Audi runs out of battery. And it is FG Pro that gets up into 10th place. 6-lap old hard compound tyres versus 7-lap old hard compound tyres. As the gap out in front is falling between Edward and Tick. So this race, or certainly this race win, definitely not over yet, as Lawless Fever has caught up to Tom then. Was looking towards the inside line, will now look towards the outside. Lawless not able to make the move, but where he will be quicker is in the corners on the soft compound tyres, looking for the switchback on the Alpine. Little bit of contact between them. Into the banking we go. Flying around the outside is the Cadillac. Will get the better exit and takes the final podium place. Lawless Fever now up into third. Aid, we are aware of some people having issues with seeing channels in the Discord. We are working on fixes as quickly as possible. Obviously, just let an admin know, whether that be Mikey, Ollie, anyone like that. Just pop them a message and let them know. And they will get back to you as soon as possible. It was quite a kerfuffle trying to set up the channels, and ultimately we have messed it up somewhere. But we are working to fix it as soon as possible. So hang in tight and you will be able to see them, hopefully, relatively quickly. My question is now, can Lawless Fever try and gain on QDR Edward? The gap is 4.4 seconds. But soft compound tyres for Lawless Fever. It's mediums for Edward and for Tick. You can see the gap somewhat fluctuating around 1.5 seconds between the McLaren and the Audi. FG comes into the pits and retires from the race, our 4th retiree of this Grand Prix. As error is the latest to pick up a 3-second time penalty for those multiple track limit warnings. Daryl in 9th place is still on the rear end of Sean and is using as much battery as he can to try and get himself within tabs of the Haas car, who is gaining on Ollie, who currently runs in 7th. Ollie trying to defend his top 7 finish. Sean will be trying to snatch it from him, and Sean with nearly a full battery as well, compared to Ollie's 40% and Daryl's 45%. Sean definitely in a better place right now, it must be said. As through the banking we go then, and Sean sets after Ollie. The question is, does he have the battery to get past? Ollie using as much overtake as he can. Sean deciding to save a bit, is going to look towards the outside line of turn 1. Haas versus Alpine. The Alpine gets caught up on the curbs on the exit. Looks like he's got a better one. Now round the outside, the inside of the banking as well. They make a little bit of contact. Sean does get his way through into 7th place. Daryl on the back of this fight will be hoping there is some sort of collision as Ollie is trying to gain on Sean. Nowhere to make a pass. And Ollie will have to sit in 8th at least for the time being. Sean with plenty of battery as well is using his battery very effectively. It's Sean now running in 7th, then the battle for the lead opening up a little bit more. 1.8 seconds between Tick and Edward. We're on lap 21 of 25 of this Dutch Grand Prix. Tick is your leader from Edward in 2nd. Lawless Fever is 3rd. Tom is 4th with Ollie Football in 5th place. Not Brownie 6th. Daryl makes his way past Ollie and up into 8th place. The Ferrari driver on his return. And Daryl doing a brilliant job to get into the top 10. FWGP in the chat. Welcome in, guys. Good to see you. And again, I know I said it earlier, but a big shout out to Daryl. Doing everything he can to continue the racing action. Honestly, is an inspiration. And Daryl, I do send you all my love and all my support. A great result it would be for the Ferrari man to finish 8th in this race. He's still not done. It could be 7th. He's still right on the back of the Haas of Sean. As I've just received a little bit of insider info as to why F1 Mikey Boy retired from the race, and it was big contact into the barriers after contact with, I believe, Lewis James. If I'm not mistaken, it was indeed Lewis James. Lewis, who is also out of this race. And that is the reason why Mikey and Lewis are both out of this Grand Prix. We're on lap 22 of 25 here in Zandvoort. Daryl still chasing down Sean. This is the closest battle on track at the moment, unless you want to look at the battle of F1 Nathan and Sander, who are both disconnected. Daryl continuing on in 8th place. I think the real issue for Daryl is that Sean is doing such a good job to save his battery. And Daryl may be struggling a little bit after having some time off. Daryl is going to look towards the inside line. Sean is going to leave the door open. Daryl will always take an opportunity down the inside. The Ferrari not able to get his way through. So that is the first inklings that Daryl could be making a move, is burning the battery as well. Up the hill we go, through the sand dunes. And Daryl looking very racy in the middle sector. This is where Sean likes to save his battery. So maybe the middle sector is Daryl's best chance to try and get through into 7th place. As we're on the penultimate lap in this Grand Prix then, Edward has been gaining again on Tick, but he isn't in the overtake booster. Most certainly is not close enough to go for any overtaking maneuvers. Daryl not able to get through on Sean either at the minute. Sean runs a little bit onto the grass. Daryl was looking for the inside line. Sean doesn't leave that door open. Edward does look like he will get into the overtake boost for the final lap of this race. Could we see some last lap shenanigans? As no, he's gone off the road. And that is going to cost Edward all the time in the world. The gap grows back to 1.5 seconds. He will not be getting the overtake boost, and unless the McLaren wanders off the road somewhere on this final lap, he will be your winner. As we begin the final lap here in Zandvoort, Tick is your leader. QDR Edward in second with Lawless Fever. Well, I was going to say Lawless Fever running in third, but Tom is looking to attack him on the final lap. Tom does get through into third. We've got yellow flags ahead of us, and that's QDR Edward, who was pushing on to try and win this race, now falls off of the podium. Needs to try and get back through on Lawless Fever, who's on the old soft compound tyres. It shouldn't be too difficult. But QDR Edward bottling the second place on the final lap of the Grand Prix for Tick. It has been everything that he'd want it to be. The Orange Army turning papaya in Zandvoort today for Tick and McLaren as he makes his way through the banking for one final time. And Tick is going to win this race as the Orange Army rises to acclaim him. He weaves to the line. Tick wins the Dutch Grand Prix. Tom will come home for second. Lawless Fever is going to hold on to third place. QDR Edward, who was second on the final lap, falls down to fourth place. Ollie Football finishes in fifth with Not Brownie in sixth. Daryl comes home for seventh place. And that is a brilliant finish for the Ferrari, who weaves to the line. Congratulations, Daryl. Ollie finishes 8th. It will be Slice that comes home in 9th. CK9K finishes in 10th with Robin in 11th. Error will finish in 12th with Cam Ruddy 13th. Llama in 14th. Sander 15th. Nathan 16th with Clyde in 17th place. That was a brilliant Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. And I must say, if I had to give a driver of the day, it'll be a little bit biased. But Daryl, you definitely get my vote, my friend. The Ferrari man, pushing on. Sending you my love, Daryl. That is the end, then, of the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's Tick that wins the Grand Prix. TB saying it's his first podium in MOR. Congratulations, mate. Was a great drive to get there. The podium celebrations conclude then. It's Tick that wins the Dutch Grand Prix. Tom in second with Lawless Fever in third. QDR Edward fourth with Not Brownie in fifth place. Ollie is sixth with Daryl in seventh. Ollie eighth with Slice in ninth. CK9 in 10th place with Robin in 11th. Error finishes 12th with Sean in 13th. Cam Ruddy in 14th. Snow Llama Gaming 15th place. Sander in 16th. Nathan in 17th with Clyde, FG, Boko, Lewis and Mikey failing to reach the flag. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in with me this afternoon to the Dutch Grand Prix. My name's been Jack. I've been your commentator. I will be back with you at 6 p.m. for the start of Season 5. So make sure you catch us there. I hope to see you there. Until I see you, take care. And as always, ada.